Y'all, I am going to try my hardest, okay? I'm letting you guys know from the jump of this that this might be one of the hardest videos for me to make, and not like emotional or anything like that. But because there is just so much information that I know for a fact I am going to leave out so many details, because there's just so many moving parts to this whole entire story that I can't keep up. Also, too, I can't play all of these clips because we are going to be talking about this guy, Malachi, who is calling out Made by Mitchell on TikTok. And y'all, this has really blown up. By the way, too, letting you guys know from the jump of this is going to be two parts, because within today's video, we're going to be talking about Malachi's side of the story, to where he was calling out Made by Mitchell and how Made by Mitchell really did him dirty. Like, y'all, low-key, I was sitting over here like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, I just don't understand. Like, this day and age, I feel like maybe just because it's easier to be a shitty person, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand why people just can't follow through with their word, why they just can't run, a company smoothly and be like a good person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so unfortunate. But anyways, we're going to be talking about Malachi's story. In tomorrow's video, you guys are going to see Made by Mitchell address this whole entire situation, and I have some thoughts and opinions about that as well too. But today I do want to focus on Malachi specifically, but going back to what I was saying is that I'm going to leave out some details is because this is just way too long. Like, y'all, I did watch all three parts. So basically he made, well, kind of like 3.5, let's just say. He made a 3-part little series on TikTok to where he was talking about everything about Made by Mitchell and this competition that he did enter and he ended up winning. Y'all, I want to say the total of it, like all three combined, well, shit, even including like that, the half, let's just say, because he made a video. So he said from the jump, right, that it was going to be 3 parts. But then in between part number 2 and 3, he made another video too, because he seems like a really sweet guy, like a really nice. And I think that he kind of felt bad that, like, obviously Made by Mitchell was getting so much hate for this. So he did kind of want to like address that. But y'all, basically all of his videos in its entirety, I want to say, are over an hour and a half long. Like, it is very long, but low key, I was so interested in this that I was like, let me listen to this whole entire story. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for him, especially because he just seems so pure. He seems so genuine, and he seems like such a sweet, nice guy. And it really does seem that Mitchell really screwed him over. And y'all, I do have to say this, like, y'all, going back to, if you guys don't know, it's so funny that actually at the time of me filming this video, right before, I was commenting back to some people in the comments of one of my videos, and somebody had commented in there like, oh, I remember you way back when, since like you were one of the first ones to call out Morphe. Do you guys know how many people unfollowed me from that drama? So many influencers, so many fellow makeup artists, so many people unfollowed me from that. I was getting so much shit, y'all, that I didn't even speak out about it, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to be more dramatic. I even got one DM too from not too popular of a creator, but a creator saying like, okay, like, you're being a little bit dramatic. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, they completely screwed me over. This is where I say people like Malachi and even myself, like, no, like, if a brand does you dirty, speak out about it. Yes, I know there is going to be, a good chunk of people out there in the world that are like, oh my God, you're being so dramatic, or you're seeking attention, or like all these things. But at the end of the day, when you get done dirty by a brand, that's messed up. And like, these brands should be held accountable, especially when you really start to see these big, massive corporations. And y'all, I don't know if you guys know this, but now Made by Mitchell is going to be sold in Ulta. Like, his brand is blowing up. They sell it everywhere in the UK. TikTok shop, I want to say, I read something somewhere, I could be wrong on this by now, maybe it's changed by now, but within the past year, that I guess apparently like his brand was like the highest selling makeup brand on TikTok. Like, he is making millions of dollars. So when you see a big brand taking advantage of somebody who obviously doesn't have lawyers, doesn't have money, doesn't have the popularity, like all these things, it's messed up and it should be called out. I'm sorry, like, I'm always gonna stand firm on that. And y'all know, if you guys have been around, long enough, for my beef with Morphe, yes, I got shit from it. There was so many popular, influencers who I thought that I was mutuals with and cool with that unfollowed me because of that drama. And I was like, no, at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna go ahead and get out there and talk my shit, because Morphe really did me dirty. And especially like them emailing me and making promises and then doing me dirty again for a second time. I was like, no, this should be outed. Do you know what I'm saying? So I have to say, I love that he got out there, okay? And he does seem like a very timid person. I love that he got out there and he called out Mitchell, because I really do think what he has done is really shady, really grimy, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys like a brief little summary, as far as my mental notes of this. I actually didn't even take down notes. I will play a clip of his video, okay? Once again, if you guys are interested in the full story within its entirety, It's very long. It's very long. Like, honestly, if you watch all 4 videos, technically he said it was going to be within 3 parts. You guys could obviously just watch the 3 parts and not watch the video in between 2 and 3. But if you guys do watch the full thing, I'm telling you, I want to say I was looking at the clips, you know, combined, and I was like, I really think it's about an hour and 40 minutes of clips. It's a lot. So that's why I'm saying I do apologize if I do miss out some things. And I am going to play a clip so that way you guys can hear some things from his own mouth. But I do want to go ahead and give you guys some context about this. So I guess Made by Mitchell had this competition. I said that word, competition within 2022 and 2023. I think it was called the Face Case or something like that. Okay, I forget exactly what the name of the competition was, but basically this guy Malachi, he ended up winning the competition in 2023. I want to say it was April of 2023. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it had taken him a while to meet up, I want to say months, to meet up with Mitchell, because I guess apparently they were going to, you know, work on this collaboration, which, by the way, Mitchell had told Malachi that this collaboration was going to be life-changing, that he was going to be getting, you know, commission from this, and he did specifically say that he wanted to focus this, you know, collaboration that they were going to be doing around Christmas. Like, he wanted it to be a Christmas drop because that's when sales are the highest, so therefore Malachi would get the most commission from this, okay? So he was talking up a good game to Malachi and making it seem like, oh, he was gonna make so much money from this, and like, oh my gosh, you're gonna like, this is gonna be life-changing to you. And I guess that really meant a lot to this guy Malachi, because he did open up and say that he was like, y'all, agoraphobic, I believe, or recluse, one of the two. Basically, like, he doesn't leave his house, so he literally relies on benefits because he doesn't like going out to public. So anyways, he was relying on this whole entire thing to be life-changing to him and really help him out. And also, too, he did, you know, touch on how difficult it was for him to get out of the house to even go to, I don't remember the exact location, somewhere in the UK, to where he, you know, had to go meet up with Made by Mitchell, which, by the way, even in between all of their conversations, it's like Mitchell was literally ghosting him after ghosting him after ghosting him, and it took months for them to even meet up. And I guess apparently even when they did meet up, like, Mitchell was super late, and I guess that it caused Malachi to be like super anxious about this, because he's basically like sitting in public waiting for this fool to like come through, and no, this fool's over here like hours late, which I'm just kind of like, damn, like, after months of like ghosting and like leaving on red and not replying to DMs, and then when you show up, you say a meeting time, which I guess apparently they set this meeting over a month in advance, and it like took him, you know, a lot to get out of the house. Like, obviously, like, imagine if you're like agoraphobic and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like stepping outside, but oh my gosh, this is literally an opportunity of a lifetime, I have to do this. And then to like be waiting for this guy, it's unfortunate. This is what really blew up the most, y'all, especially on TikTok, is because during this meeting, I guess basically Mitchell was telling him like, hey, sky's the limit, visualize your like biggest creation, just let me know what you have. So he took a sketchbook there, and he has says that like he created so many different concepts within his sketchbook of ideas of things that are not even on the market yet, okay? And this is very important because obviously when you have ideas like that, you keep them, you know, locked up. And y'all, I am so sorry, but we do live in very shady times to where people will like, you know, see like a good idea and they want to take advantage of it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but even when Jules LeBron came out with Very Cutesy, Very Demure, somebody trademarked the freaking, you know, Very Cutesy, Very Demure, which was like very dirty to do to him. But obviously people do that. They're opportunists and they're like, oh, this is not trademark, let me take it. So he took this, you know, sketchbook to go over his ideas with Made by Mitchell. I guess they went over the ideas, and because he said within his video too that I guess apparently because he was like, well, I've already stepped so far out of my box, Mitchell in the middle of the meeting said, hey, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut this short because I do have to go live right now. I guess because he was like, you know what, let me just go balls to the wall and say, can I go on your live too? I guess Mitchell said, yeah, come on the live. While on there, I guess his team, before Malachi had entered the live, he had said like, hey, go to the warehouse, pick out whatever you want. Okay, so he picked out a bunch of products, and he even said too, he was like, I was being so cautious because I didn't want to seem ungrateful. I didn't want to seem like I was taking advantage of the company. But he's like, I just made a joke like, oh my gosh, can I have two? Like one for me and one for my friend. And they said, yeah, have whatever you want. So he built up this big old package, and y'all, he even had clips of it too, to where he went over what Mitchell went over what Malachi had in his box on his live, and there's a clip of that as well too.
Guys, so this is, it's fine, I'll cover it with my hand. So this is what Malachi just picked up from the warehouse. He said just go wild, and he really did. That's our new colour case, which is why I'm not showing you.
So check this out. I guess after everything was said and done, you know, they ended up, you know, walking out. They ended up taking an Uber together, and he realized, oh my gosh, I left my box and I left my sketchbook with all of my ideas for my makeup creation, for my makeup collection. You know what I'm saying? So during this time, he tells Mitchell, he was like, hey, do you think I can like get my book? I forgot it. And then Mitchell says, oh, the warehouse is actually shut right now. They closed it. It's already locked up. I don't have access to it. So he says, oh, I'm going to have it shipped out to you. Y'all, we're talking years later here. He never got his package that Mitchell, obviously gave to him. And he never got his sketchbook back. This is what to me was like, oh my gosh, like low-key, above anything else, I would have been more pressed about the sketchbook because I would have been like, my ideas are in there. And like, honestly, if Mitchell wanted to be shady as hell, he could open up that sketchbook and say, oh, this idea is good, and completely take his idea and not give him commission for it. By the way, too, I forgot to mention is that a couple weeks after, or even months after, Malachi was kind of like, okay, what's taking place with this? Don't I need to sign an NDA? Don't I need to sign a contract? How are we going to know how the commission is going to break down? But basically after this, they were in like brief communication, and then turns out Mitchell ended up like completely ghosting him. Okay. He does go over different parts of like him winning the competition, them starting out. He goes all of like 2023, 2024, and even up until now. So this is where I say there's obviously so many details that I am missing out on. But basically, in a nutshell, he won this competition, which a lot of people were saying, obviously, I don't know UK law whatsoever, but I do know here in America, you could sue for that. If you win a competition and you don't get your prize, y'all, I don't know if you guys remember, this was years ago. Y'all know I'm old. This girl entered a competition to win a Toyota, and then somebody like who held the competition gave her a toy Yoda, okay, with a D, which is, the little green character man from Star Wars, okay? So she ended up suing, and I do believe, if my memory is correct, I do believe she ended up winning a car because it was labeled as Toyota, and she won the competition, and they literally just gave her a toy of Yoda, the little Jedi. Anyway, so over here in America, you could sue for that. A lot of people were pointing out in UK, you still can sue for that. So this is where I'm just kind of like, damn. Anyways, I do want to go ahead and play a small clip. Y'all, I'm going to probably just play like a 2 to 3 minute clip of it. Once again, it's super long. If you guys are interested in this, I do highly recommend checking out, his full entirety of it. But that is pretty much it within a nutshell, is that here we are in 2025 and he still has had nothing moving of the collaboration whatsoever. Mitchell has completely ditched him, which is crazy. Check this out.
I want you to create a makeup collection with Made by Mitchell. I want you to pick your formulas, I want you to pick the packaging, and at the end of it, you'll even be able to earn your own commission from your very own makeup collab. Let's see who gets to win the Full Face of Colour Case Challenge, and let's see who I am creating a full makeup collection with next.
That was announced on the 15th of March 2023. I entered the Full Face of Colour Case competition 5 times, and I'll show each of my entries around on the screen somewhere here now.
The winner was one person. I'm going to have a drum roll, please, Maestro. Winner of my Full Face of Colour Case Challenge is Malachi. Malachi created a few different looks, and each and every one of them inspired me so much.
I won this amazing prize of doing a whole makeup collection with Mitchell and Made by Mitchell. When he had some ideas, he said, give me your ideas as if there's no limits. And I was like, okay, I guess that's fine. I also brought an art book and a notebook to this meeting with some of my ideas in to present to them, just a couple sketches, nothing major. It wasn't full or anything like that. Bear in mind, I was expecting there to be like some contract or NDA or something there that day, because there hadn't been anything sent to me prior. I'd just expect there to be something written down if it was going to, especially if there was going to be commission and stuff about it. When the swatch was done, he took all his photos and all that. It was time for us to go. It was the end of the day. We'd done the work there that we were supposed to do. So me and Mitchell got an Uber back to the train station. On the way to the Uber, just walking to the warehouse, I can just grab that package that your staff put together for me. Like, it was really nice. Thank you. I really can't wait to use it. And he says, oh, the warehouse is closed now. It's locked. Do you mind if I just send it in the morning? And I was like, oh no, that's fine. That saves me from carrying it, like getting a train home. And I say to him, oh, I wanted to know about a contract and an NDA because I haven't signed anything yet. And I don't know, it just seems a bit weird. He says, oh yeah, that's all being sorted for you for the next time that you come here. So I was like, okay, great. I'll just keep my mouth shut until then we'll know. We get into the Uber. He starts giving me all these compliments. He's like, from the first moment I saw your first entry, I just knew you were the winner. I was like, okay, great. Like, that's amazing. Thank you. He says how there's some staff members there who were rooting for other people more and being a bit vocal about it, saying how they would rather I didn't get the prize because of X, Y, and Z. But Mitchell was apparently very hell-bent on me winning. He says he saw something in me. I mean, like, if you've seen him talk about me in lives, he calls me creative genius and things like that. And he was talking about my looks, my makeup, my process, and says he doesn't even know how to achieve that himself. And I just keep thinking, like, okay, you're blowing smoke up my house at this point. Like, you are Mitchell. I don't want to rush this over. This is my baby. Thank you for tracking my art book and notepad. I'm definitely excited. Thank you. That was the extent of that conversation. Don't hear anything again, and it becomes the 23rd of September. So I see in his story that he's got a party for his birthday. So I message him and say, oh, hope you have an amazing time at your party tonight. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Thank you so much, my love. 3 hearts. That's the last time I heard of him that year. I messaged him in October and I give him a warning about a scam email that's going around saying about a collaboration that you've won. I know, ironic. I didn't want him to get screwed over or anything with a scam, so I messaged him, told him about the scam, and he ignored me again. And at this point, like, I'm sick of getting ignored. It was really annoying. So I just stopped chasing. Yeah, that's really all I have for 2023.
Hopefully y'all can see from that little clip right there just of how like sweet this guy is. And y'all, I do have to say too, the way he carried himself, like I have to say, maybe the English are just more elegant and more put together, because if you guys remember when I was calling out Morphe, oh my gosh, y'all, like I went off. Like low-key, I was unhinged. But you know, I was pissed. I was pressed. So like to see him get done so dirty by Mitchell and to see him speak so eloquently, or is it elegantly? No, eloquently, I think. And just to see the way he acts, I was like, oh my gosh, like you could tell he's like a really, really sweet guy. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that it sucks that he obviously was looking at this opportunity to be like life-changing to him, because obviously he's over here like, oh my gosh, I get to create a full-on makeup collection with Made by Mitchell, which obviously Made by Mitchell is like blowing up in the UK. He's from the UK. Like obviously this is like a really big thing. And then for Mitchell to just completely ditch him. And you guys are going to see within tomorrow's video, let me save my thoughts for tomorrow's video about Mitchell, because I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just one of those things of like, it sucks that it takes somebody coming forward and now all of a sudden now you want to like hold yourself accountable and speak out about it and things like that, when it's like, where was this energy before? Why all of a sudden are you barely speaking out about it? You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, I don't know. I really felt so bad for this guy, Malachi. He just seems so sweet, and like to win a competition and you just completely do him dirty like that, it's a little grimy. It's a little grimy. That's just my little opinion on it. But make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow, where we talk about Made by Mitchell speaking out about this whole entire situation, because woo, fans are not happy about what he has to say and like how he went about everything, and it's just a mess. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out, Girl Scout.